What's happening, people? The Liverpool Prophet back again with another video, more transfer related news to talk about. Liverpool related news, of course, we know how it goes. Yesterday was a bit of a mad day. It's been a mad couple of hours still. We have news regarding Ekitike, and we also have news regarding Alexander Isak. The Isak transfer is heating up rapidly. Well, I wouldn't say transfer, but the rumours on it are heating up expeditiously. The rumours on Hugo Ekitike, are also heating up expeditiously. So there is quite a bit to talk about. But look, the shades are out. Either way, we're vibing. Liverpool are vibing. So without further ado, lads, why don't we get into the video and dissect the latest transfer news, all things Liverpool related. So it looks like a monster bid is being prepared by Liverpool for Alexander Isak, and like I said, make no bones about it, if we want Isak, we're going to have to overpay. Newcastle are not going to sell him to us for some cheap price or some low price. They're going to finesse us. They're going to get as much money out of us as they can for Alexander Isak. That's just what they're going to do. I would do the same if I was in their position. That's what they're going to do. Unfortunately, they're going to finesse us for a lot of money. We're going to end up overpaying quite a bit for Alexander Isak if we're serious about getting him. And I wouldn't expect nothing else, to be fair. I would not expect Newcastle to be letting him go easily. You know, they're going to try their absolute hardest to get us to walk away. They're going to put up a ridiculous fee, most likely. So we're going to be in a situation where we're going to probably be looking at breaking the British transfer record again in the same summer, which is what people already thought we were going to do anyway, to be fair. Newcastle, they're having to stand their ground. They're going to have to stand their ground on this. If they really want to keep Isak, they're going to have to put up a stupid price, and they're going to have to hope that Isak wants to stay as well, because look, I look at the situation with Konate and Madrid. Him not saying nothing to me speaks volumes about what's going on in his head. Isak and Newcastle, similar thing. Isak hasn't come out and said a word about this. Is that not worrying to Newcastle fans? Does that not worry you guys that he's not come out and said nothing about this, that he's kept quiet? For me, silence is the biggest answer. If a player's silent about a transfer saga involving themselves, I think most likely we know what the answer is. They want to leave, they want to move, they want to go to another club, and they want to take the next step in their career. I'm not being horrible to Newcastle fans. I love Newcastle fans. I think they're a great bunch, but ultimately, are you guys going to challenge for Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues? I don't think you are. Unfortunately, I don't think you will. At Liverpool, Isak is in a position where he can challenge for the Prem, he can challenge for the Champions League, as well as challenge for the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So, 4 trophies. So if I was Alexander Isak and I seen what's going on, I'd be looking to move to Liverpool 100%, because in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's opinions too, we are the club that are moving in the right trajectory. Not to say Newcastle aren't moving in the right trajectory. They are. They're also moving in the right trajectory. They've done incredibly well, you know, spending wise, getting top 4 most the last couple of seasons, fighting, you know, picking themselves back up from the doghouse when they were in relegation. But ultimately, I think at best, they're a top 4 club, and potentially a top 3. They could potentially get top 3 depending on Arsenal's business, but I don't see them challenging for the league or the Champions League, even though they're in both. I can see them top 4 at best, and if I'm Isak, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I've come to Newcastle, but Liverpool want me now. I think the right career choice and the best career choice for my career, if I want to win trophies, if I want to be winning multiple Premier Leagues, if I want to be winning Champions Leagues or challenging for these trophies regularly, Liverpool's the move for me. It's better for my career. It's better for me. And ultimately, Liverpool are a bigger club than Newcastle. So, and that too. So, I'd be very surprised if Isak isn't looking at the situation and wanting a move away from Newcastle to Liverpool now that we're interested. Newcastle fans are very, very adamant that he's not going nowhere. And to be fair, I understand. We were the same with Coutinho when it happened. A lot of us didn't want to admit that Coutinho was going to leave. And he ended up leaving. So if I was Newcastle fans, I'd be worried about this, because The player's not said nothing. If the fee's right, I'd expect you lot to entertain it. And it looks like he wants to leave, judging by his silence. So if I'm a Newcastle fan, I am worried about the situation. I'm worried about his silence. I'm worried about the saga. I'm worried that his head may be turned. So these Newcastle fans ultimately that are saying they're not bothered by it, that he's staying, I think they are. Realistically, they're probably looking at it and thinking, okay, we're probably going to lose that player. We're probably going to lose Isak, so we're going to double down on him not leaving. I think they need to kind of accept the reality of this, that potentially their striker could be off. By the way, they're interested in Ekitike. Now, Liverpool, what I love from us, man, what we've absolutely got a spot on is we've backed these lot into a corner here. So we've given them the option, really. Either we get Alexander Isak or we'll steal Hugo Ekitike off them. So either way, we're going to take one of their players, whether it's Ekitike or Isak. So they're backed right into a corner by Liverpool, and we're moving cold. We are moving cold, moving like the big boys, the big dogs. Give us Ekitike or we'll take Isak. Or give us Isak or we'll take Ekitike. Either way, they're going to lose. Newcastle are fighting a losing battle either way, so they're in a big deep hole here in what they want to do. We backed them into a deep hole as well, and I love that from Richard Hughes. What a move, what a stroke of genius from the guy, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. Backing Newcastle into a corner, pretty much blackmailing them. Give us this one or we'll take that one, or give us that one or we'll take this one. I love it. It shows balls of steel to do something like that. But like I said, if Isak doesn't happen, it looks like Ekitike is going to be the backup option. I'm not too happy with Ekitike, but I'll give him a chance if he becomes a Liverpool player. I will back him like I backed all the other Liverpool players we got. Again, preparation from the club. If we don't get Isak, we're going to go in for Ekitike. We're going to look at signing Ekitike. I like it. Preparing for all outcomes here. The saga's getting interesting. It's getting very interesting, and it's not going to get any more. It's not going to get less interesting because in the next couple of days, next couple of hours even, we're going to hear more on this. But the news is looking positive for Liverpool, at least. For Newcastle, it's not looking great. It's not looking great from their perspective. I think they're in a bit of trouble. They're in a bit of a pickle. Either they give us Isak or we'll take Ekitike off them, or they give us Ekitike, or we'll take Ekitike, or we'll get Isak and they can have Ekitike. So either way, they're backed into a corner. So what they do next is interesting. Do they now open talks? Do they entertain Isak leaving? Because I think you're replacing one player with one player. If Newcastle lose Isak and they bring in Ekitike, I still think they'll be fine. I don't see a major drop off in them. I still expect them to be in the top 4 next year. Maybe win a cup again. So you're replacing one player with one player. So I wouldn't be worried if they did lose Isak and bring in Ekitike, because ultimately it's a good move for them. And it's a move that, you replaced your striker with another striker. You haven't just let him go and not replaced him. So if I'm a Newcastle fan and you get Ekitike but lose Isak, I wouldn't be worried, because you'll still be up there in the top 4 and up there for the Cups, I believe, giving a good run in the Cups. So yeah, very, very interesting. What does my gut tell me? My gut tells me that we're probably going to end up getting Ekitike, if I'm being totally honest. I don't see the Isak thing happening. I think the price will be too much, and I think FSG ultimately are going to walk away because they don't think the price is acceptable, and I can kind of see it. So I think we'll go for Ekitike personally, and I think we'll miss out on Isak. Maybe come back to him next summer, depending on the situations. But I wanted to drop a scenario to Newcastle fans who are upset about this Isak stuff. Now, sometimes you have to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. We did that with Felipe Coutinho. He was our guy. But for years we were mediocre, let's be totally honest. It was Coutinho or it was no one. Once we sold Coutinho, a lot of us didn't want to sell him, but once we eventually let him go, you instantly saw a domino effect. We started playing more like a team rather than relying on one player. It allowed us to go get Virgil van Dijk, Alisson Becker, Fabinho, to build that core Liverpool team, to kind of transform us into the team we are today. The team that did so well under Jurgen and now doing so well under Arne. So we had to take a step back to take 2 steps forwards. I see a similar situation with Isak. I think if they sell Isak, it's taking a step back, but ultimately I think they get Ekitike and a couple more players, it will take them a step forward. So sometimes you got to lose to win, if you know what I'm saying. So I think similar to the Coutinho situation, Isak is their Coutinho. They're going to have to probably lose him, and they're going to have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward, in my opinion. But we'll see where it goes on it. It's an interesting saga. There's going to be more breaking news on this 100%. So whatever happens, I'll keep you guys tuned. But I'm going to go out for now. Liverpool Prophet. Peace out. I'll speak to you guys very soon. Up the Reds. Let's go.